Target acquired. Destroy. Destroy. Destroy.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third and final part of Hate Live, my Thanksgiving special for 2017. If you missed either of the two other parts, they are either live or will be live on YouTube shortly. The reason I say that is who knows what happens with YouTube processing or whatever. But it's time to conclude the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is. And this segment is going to be the segment a lot of people have been waiting for. Number one, I'm going to be talking about Thanksgiving, what I'm thankful for. All right. A little bit about this year, what's happened to me this year, an update on the business and everything. And basically, I am going to finally kind of reveal what's been going on behind the scenes. I can't 100% tell you all the details, but I can reveal as much as I can what's been going on behind the scenes and kind of screwing with me for the past couple of months. All right. To the point where I've been, I've been worried about losing my house, which I might still, which is what we're going to talk about right now. And some people might be, I see people in the stream chat saying it right now. Some people might be looking at the shirt and being like, what the hell? Phil did a costume change, right? For those of you who are longtime fans, I think you recognize the shirt. This is a shirt that I've worn in every ridiculously serious vlog that I've ever done. Whenever there's something really, how can I say it, bad or concerning, I've always worn this shirt. And I saved this shirt. I haven't worn it in a long time. But, today with the fact that I'm finally going to be real with you guys about what's been going on with me and everything, I felt that I need to bring it out for today, okay? So, first of all, shout-outs! I got some shout-outs to do here. Kitty Spank did a 10-bit cheer during the break and said, thank you. No, thank you, Kitty Spank. Hit Specs did a 100-bit cheer and says, love the King of Hate rap. This made my day. I want this one on my phone. For those who are not aware, if you're watching this on YouTube, during the breaks, I have been playing remixed music of my old school remixes from 7+ years ago during the break. So that's what everyone's referencing in some of these cheers. Thank you to Golden Colts for the 200-bit cheer. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dooley, for a $5 tip. I appreciate the tip. And Coverus did a 30-bit cheer and says, didn't you wear that shirt when you first revealed your face to YouTube? Yes. This is the first shirt I ever wore talking to a camera in person for YouTube. And I saved it. 10 years, man. Almost 10 years. I got this in 2009, obviously. But, yeah, that was what, It was 2009. Yeah, it was 2009 when I first revealed my face. Okay, let's talk, everyone. First of all, Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving in the United States. If you guys aren't aware, Thanksgiving is the day when traditionally Americans think upon the things that they have. And they think about what they're grateful for. And they reflect, on the good and the bad. A lot of people get together with their family or friends. A lot of people, have a really awesome meal. And it's a good opportunity to reflect and to think not only about the past, but also the future, right? For me, today is a day when I get to basically kind of assess things, okay? And that's part of why I'm going to be talking about what I'm going to be talking about in this part of the podcast. Because it really is important to at times take an assessment of what's going on around you and see what's going to happen with the future, but everything. But also look back. I mean, let's be honest here, folks. Let's really take a look at 2017 as a year for me. The year started off rough. Already the year started off really slow. Typically what happens is in the fourth quarter of the year, this is when I was just reliant on YouTube income. YouTube income would spike. I would get 4 good months, September, October, November, December, where views would go up, money would be increased, and I would use that to support me through the slower months of the year, the January, February, March, where typically it's a little bit slower until new releases start hitting in, say, March, April. That didn't happen in 2016. In 2016, it was like a plateau for me. And so when January came, I was like, I'm screwed. I don't have, my money is down. This is really bad. And I thought that was the worst. Oh my God. That was the fucking tip of the iceberg. February, the YouTube adpocalypse happened, meaning everyone's ad revenue on YouTube dipped by roughly anywhere as little as 30 to as great as 90. For me, it was about 50%. Okay? And at that point when that happened in February, that's when I had the falling out with Machinima, who was my current partnership company, because they wouldn't give me any answers. They would just basically pussyfoot around the issue. I kept asking them to ask YouTube what was going on. They wouldn't give me any definitive answers. 2 weeks this went on where I was making half of the money. And I was like, how am I supposed to pay my bills, keep my house, and do all this if you guys are not doing any kind of work to get me answers? This is ludicrous. As a partnership network, it's your job to find out shit like this and stay on top of it. If you knew there was an adpocalypse coming, you should have told me. Like, all these things. I had a falling out with Machinima, ended up severing my tie with them, right? And had to look for a new partnership network, which ended up being Curse. YouTube ad revenue never went back up. So I had to find an alternate source of income, which ended up being supplemented by, number one, coming back to Twitch TV and streaming on Twitch TV, pretty much full time, all the time, multiple gameplay streams, adopting a new interactive style, as you guys are seeing the cheers, subs, and tips, and me reacting to them. Had to completely change everything that I did in order to even keep enough money just to keep things afloat and pay the bills. Now, what ended up happening was things got incredibly tight. They went from at least having a tiny bit of leeway to having no leeway whatsoever. Every month, I make just enough money to pay my bills, and that's it. During the time period that this was happening, I was always looking for another opportunity. I saw an opportunity to maybe go with another partnership network that was promising me the world. They were promising me they were going to get me a managed partnership. It was basically all bullshit and lies, and within a week of being with them, I already got rid of that partnership and said, fuck that, and went back to Curse. And then, that's not enough stress all at once, because this all happened between the months of February to April, okay? That's not enough fucking stress at once. Then, behind the scenes of everything, things were falling apart with my then girlfriend, and then became my fiance, Leanna, who I had been dating for 5 years. We had lived together for 3 here. Well, at that point, it was what? Not 3, because we moved here in June of 2014. So it's about 2.5 years, a little bit over 2.5 years we had lived here together in Washington State. That falls apart at the same time. It's just like everything at once. Like, what the fuck? And I said this earlier this year. I'll say it again. It's like, you ever heard the story of Job, who in the Bible was someone who had so much tremendous amount of negative shit thrown against him? And it was like, how much is enough? Like, what are you trying to prove here, God? What are you trying to do to one person? And all this shit happened within a short period of fucking time. Okay? It was really bad. And then I broke up with Leanna and ended up, that ended. And then I didn't tell anyone. That was the other thing. God forbid that I share personal stuff like that anymore because of all the horrendous things that had happened to me for revealing personal information in the past, right? That people had made up that I had forced Leanna to not go to her brother's wedding because I needed to play Fallout 4, which couldn't have been further from the truth. But I had to put up with people slandering me for 2 fucking years about that. 3 years, actually. Every time personal information leaked, people would turn it into something horrendous and bad and negative, that I did something wrong and I'm a horrible person. And I knew that if people knew that we had broken up when we had kind of just gotten engaged, that would be turned into something awful again. So I kept it a secret for months. I mean, I don't think I even revealed that we had broken up until, what was it, sometime in mid-June or something like that. That was almost 2 months later. Right? So that being said, folks, it was a pretty bad year for me up to that point, all right? And then I'll be honest. What ended up happening was, after a huge lump of negativity all happened within a 2 or 3 month period, which was really shitty and I hated it. And obviously, hope things get better. Things did get better. If you actually, June, July, August, September, October, things got better. Even though I'm here by myself now, living by myself, I am making enough money between Twitch and YouTube and Patreon and Teespring and all these supplemental ways to pay my bills. I'm getting by. I was able to afford my taxes. I was able to afford all the stuff that I was worried about financially this year because of you. I gotta make this clear, especially in particular if you're a regular stream viewer or if you're a contributor to the streams with cheers, subs, and tips and stuff like that. It's because of you that I'm still right here. If things didn't turn around, if my presence on Twitch hadn't grown this year and I didn't get the support that I did from stream viewers, I would not be here. I would have had to sell my house and either get a smaller apartment, very cheap, which of course, again, would have been a nightmare to try to sell everything in the house and leave all the stuff behind. You know what I mean? This studio that I've set up and everything for my work, and leave all that behind to move on to a new place. That would have been smaller. Or worst case scenario, I would have been back in Connecticut, back in that fucking shitty condo, with terrible audio quality, with internet that cuts in and out all the time and they won't ever fix it, with higher taxes, with terrible weather for my health, like everything. It would have been awful, all right? Because of you guys, I was able to basically stick it out this whole year. This was a very, very challenging year for me. Trust me, living alone, right? Not having that constant moral support of a loved one living with you anymore. I'm away from my parents, so I don't even have them to lean on anymore. I talk to them every week. They're not here in person anymore. And I'll be honest, my parents have had some health issues this year, and me not being there, it hurts, okay? Because that was, back in Connecticut, something happens, I have people there to lean on, right? I'm out here by myself. But, as I said, where I'm living right now, this house, where I'm living right now in Seattle, this is where I want to be for my life. Like, I love it here. The weather, the people, the businesses that are around here, everything is within arm's reach. You know what I mean? Everything has been going good since I moved out here in regards to that stuff. Okay, so this is where I want to be. I don't want to lose this. If I would feel that if I were to leave this house and have to either go to a much, much smaller place, which would be a big fucking ordeal to get rid of all the stuff in this house and try to sell it and move to this other place and get everything set up and working, or moving back to Connecticut, oh my God. Either way, it's a massive defeat for me. After working my ass off since 2008 and doing this for full-time for a living since 2011, is basically saying, I got beat, by all the shit in my life that beat me down and beat me. And I don't want that. I want to stay here. And you guys, your support this year has been overwhelming. If anything, the thing I am most thankful for is that in 2017, all right, amidst all this negative shit that was going on and that was affecting me really, really badly behind the scenes, right? And a lot of the stuff you guys didn't know about when it was going on and stuff like that. Basically, you guys understood and you came out and you made this fun again, because I used to be, I'll be honest, some days doing this, recording videos for ongoing playthroughs for YouTube was like a 9-to-5 work job, and I'm like, this year's so different. I'm able to come out and really enjoy the games again, interact with you guys for stuff like this, right? Have a ton of fun, really enjoy myself for the first time in a long time. It really feels like something very different, something very unique and different than I was doing. And I love the new interactivity of the streams. It's fun. It's really, I feel reinvigorated doing this job for the first time in years. And that's a very positive thing, okay? I'm actually going to close the door because I'm wearing this t-shirt and it's cold. And now I'm getting cold. So I'm going to close the door to try to make it warmer in here. Just didn't want you guys wondering what's Phil doing looming off camera there, okay? So thank you. I'm only here because of you and your support. I mean, that's God's honest truth. If you guys hadn't come out and supported me this year the way you did in droves, I wouldn't still be here. And the positivity, because the thing is, as you guys know, there's a lot of negative associations with me. There's a lot of people who make a living and or make their name off of making fun of me and trying to nitpick every tiny thing I say to get a YouTube video that'll get 20,000 views of idiot kids who like to make fun of me and shit. A lot of the negativity around me is gone. There's people now who are talking to me and stuff who never would have in the past. I'm getting new viewership and fans every day. Right? And that's amazing. It's different. It's actually, I've seen growth on Twitch. I haven't seen growth with what I've done in years. All I've seen is plateau or decline. This year, Twitch going up. It's going good. It really is, okay? And I'm pleased. I couldn't be more pleased with how things are going right now, with the quality of the streams, the quality of the gameplay, the interaction, the fun that everyone's having. It's like there's a community again. How long has it been since there's been a community around me? And now there's a community of gamers again enjoying watching my content. And that hasn't been in a long time. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about how things are going, all right? I'm going to be honest with everyone. First of all, business-wise, with me being able to afford stuff, I have not had, like, this disposable income in months. What I have is money comes in from Twitch streaming, money comes in from YouTube, money comes in from tips, and the tip money that I get goes to a PayPal account that I used to pay for everything. I pay when I go out to eat. If I need to buy a game, if I need to buy something for the business, that's my disposable income, but none of it's left over, all right? Anything that's left over, I put into my bank account and it pays my bills. I'm incredibly tight because you got to keep in mind, this is a household that was based off of 2 incomes. My ex-girlfriend, ex-fiance was working a job and the money, was contributing. Now it's gone. So it's me paying everything now. And now the fact that YouTube did decline, I'm making less now than I was. And it's tough. I really am. I'm living, some people use the term paycheck to paycheck, all right? I'm living bank deposit to bank deposit because every month I'm nervous. Am I going to get enough money when I get my curse payment? Am I going to get enough money when I get my Twitch payment? When I withdraw the money from Patreon this month, is it going to be enough to cover all the bills that are going to hit my bank account? And I'll be honest with you guys, real straight up honest. It didn't some months. Some months I was overdrawn, but luckily there was always another payment coming on the way. And I'll be honest, a lot of months you guys with your tips, some of the big tips that I got this year, saved my ass. There was one month in particular, I was going to be overdrawn, and I got like a $200 in tips in one day. I put it right into the bank account, and it covered it to like $20. And then I got paid the next day from one of the companies, and it cleared me, okay? It's that tight, and that's why, I've been talking for months about my headphones, and saying my headphones are broken, they're not working properly, half the time they go out, they're dead, and I have to go unplug, replug them, and they're worn, and the mixer doesn't even work or nothing, and people are like, why doesn't he just buy headphones? Because I don't have the disposable income. Literally all the money I make goes towards bills, and it's gone in a flash like that. And you guys also don't realize I pay a ton of taxes. Being self-employed, I pay a lot of taxes. I'd say probably anywhere from 20 to 30% of my income goes to taxes. It depends because it's because of write-offs and stuff. Certain years it's less, certain years it's more. So a lot of my money goes to taxes that you guys are giving me. It's like, oh, Phil made this much money. Yeah, but a third of it went to taxes. So it's not like that was disposable income that I could spend. It just went to the bills and taxes, and that's it. This year, I didn't buy anything. Take a look around, right? You guys said, what did Phil get that was new? The few new things that I bought, a couple Teespring shirts, so I could advertise them on streams, right? That was to make more money. I didn't get anything this year for pleasure. Everything for me is just the bare minimum of what I can do to get by. It's to the point financially where sometimes I'm paying just minimum payments on everything to get by because it's that bad. All right. It's terrible. It's a bad situation. But the good news is, because people have been increasingly watching the streams and increasingly doing things like cheering, subbing, and tipping, it's become better. Like, it's getting slightly better. Every month I'm seeing a little bit, wow, I'm paying a little bit of this down. It's getting a little better. And if I could maintain where I am right now, or, I'll be honest, if Twitch keeps getting better, even better. But if I can maintain the level of what I'm doing right now, I should be able to keep the house. I should be able to pay the bills. I should be able to get everything done that I need to get done and not have to worry about all this shit, all right? Or so I thought, okay, because this is the level I was at basically around August, September, when all of a sudden I got this terrible news, and I need to share that, guys, with you. And honestly, now I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Okay, being completely honest with all of you, it's not just one thing, it's two things. One thing is very personal. It's regarding my health, and I'm not going to even tell you the details about it because, honestly, someone's health is their own business unless there's a reason to publicly come out and talk about it. I'm not going to talk about that portion of it at this point. Maybe in the future I will bring it up, but I've been having health problems. I've actually, see, this is the thing. You guys don't even know. I have health problems. I've had chronic health problems my whole life that I never told you about. And it's not the back injury, it's other stuff. And I don't let it affect me, even though I have chronic health problems that I have. I don't tell you about them, and I don't let them try to hinder what I do here on stream or whatever. Okay. But I've been having a few complications that have been negatively affecting me. Let's put it that way. To the point where long-term, could it affect me really badly? Yes. Not yet, but long-term it could. And I am worried about that, and that's always going to be something. Health is something we all worry about all the time, right? So I'm not going to go into detail, but FYI, that's one of the things that's been affecting me. And yes, eventually it could really negatively affect me, all right? But the other thing that's been happening at the same time as that is something that some people have taken guesses, real good guesses, right, at what this could be. What could it be that Phil would have to sell his house and go somewhere smaller or whatever? What could it be? Think about this. What could it be? Some people got close. Some people got close, but did not hit it on the head. All right. No one actually got it right because the situation is so effing convoluted that I don't know how you could actually guess that this was correct, okay? All right. How do I begin? Let's see how I begin here, all right? Just listen to the whole story. Don't assume and jump off at any point. Listen to the whole story. Here's the whole story. When I started, way back when I started doing YouTube for a job back in 2011, okay, I knew that this was going to be something different, something weird. It's not like having a normal job, a 9-to-5 job. It's not like it's easy to keep track of all your finances and everything, right? It's going to be very difficult. I'm going to have to keep an expense, a running budget. Here's all the expenses I spent on the business that maybe I can, do a write-off on my taxes. Here's my money. Do I want to keep a separate bank account? Very, very complicated to do what I do. All right, it is. And every year, it's a nightmare to try to figure out at that one time of the year when I have to figure out, gee, what do I owe taxes on this? Do I owe that? Do I get a refund this year? Do I roll it over? How many expenses can I write off? And so when I started way back when making money doing YouTube full time, I got a tax attorney to be my full-time tax attorney. Now, I didn't just get any old tax attorney. I did research. All right. I did research. This is back when I lived in Connecticut, back in around, I'd say, I'm trying to remember if it was 2011. I don't remember the first year that I actually did this. Okay. So I did research. I found a guy in Connecticut, 30 years experience, actually taught accounting and finance at universities before, okay, and had these awards and degrees, and it wasn't his full-time job to do it 100% of the time, but it was one of his sources of income that during a year he had clients who he would do their taxes for them. And when I lived in Connecticut, from 2011 to 2014, when I was doing this as a full-time job, my taxes were done through him. And every year what I would do is I put together this spreadsheet of all my expenses and send all the information to him. And he basically put it together so that it would be easy, all right? An easy system, no problems, nothing, Every year I just sent him the information. He has a couple questions. Boom, we file, we're done, all right? And I pay a shit ton of taxes. Now, one of the major reasons why I wanted to get out of Connecticut is because Connecticut has what's called a state personal income tax, meaning whatever you earn in the state of Connecticut, the state takes income away from you every year as a tax. So does the federal government. Now, the state doesn't take nearly as much as the federal government, okay? But they take a decent chunk. And I was like, man, I could literally leave the state of Connecticut and move anywhere that doesn't have a state income tax, or I could move to a state that has a much lower income tax and pay less taxes. And what would be the loss? I work from home. I live stream, right? So, what's the big deal if I were to move out of Connecticut and go somewhere else and do this? I'd be basically just making more money doing it because I don't have to pay all these exorbitant taxes that I'm paying in Connecticut. So at the time, all right, I did some research on what states did not have personal income tax. I started looking for houses. You all remember this. If you're longtime viewers, you remember this. It was like 2013 and then 2014, I actually started house hunting. And at that time, I was in constant communication with my tax attorney saying, gee, what would happen if I were to move, say, to Washington or to Texas or to one of these states that doesn't have a personal income tax? He says, basically, that was it. You just don't pay personal income tax. You just pay the federal. You're good to go. I was like, wow, that's great. That would be really exceptional. And so as things progressed, right, more and more. Eventually, I came out here in April of 2014 to Seattle area, Washington. I saw several homes while I was out here with my then girlfriend. And we decided on this house. We thought this house was the perfect fit for us. And before I ever took one single step towards buying this house, okay, I up front asked my tax attorney two important questions. I said, number one, are there any other taxes that I'm going to have to pay if I move to the state of Washington outside of the federal income tax? That's number one. He said no. It's just the personal federal income tax you'll have to pay. Number two, I asked him in writing, I still have the fucking email. I said, since I'm moving to Washington State, doesn't it make sense that I should get a tax attorney out here who basically has more knowledge of the state laws and stuff like that? To me, they'll be more knowledgeable about that. So basically, I'm going to say goodbye to you. After this year of taxes, once I move to Washington in the summer, I'm going to basically not need your services anymore. That makes sense, right? And he came back to me and said, oh no, I'm still able to handle all of your tax concerns. No problem whatsoever. You'll still be fine. Don't worry about it. I can take care of it. I'll do the research. I'm well versed and we'll take care of I'll still take care of your taxes for you no matter what. Okay. Okay. Right? I'm not the professional here. He is. This is his job. He's a tax attorney. I'm not even exaggerating, guys. I've paid this guy ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, 1 year I think I paid him, I'm not exaggerating, $1,500 to do my taxes, okay? That was the year that it was the most convoluted. I had like the most income streams and I had all this shit going on and it was a lot of extra work and he had to get it together, all right? I paid this guy a ridiculous amount of money to do my taxes. Now, you may not realize this, all tax attorneys cost about that much, all right? The only other alternative is to do your taxes yourself, which I never would have done right. I would have fucked them up. I wouldn't have done the right write-offs and stuff. Or you could go to like a place like Jackson Hewitt or H&R Block, and they charge around like $500. But again, they're not full-time tax attorneys like this guy is, okay? So, that's what happened. I moved across the country to Washington State as of, what was that? I think it was July 2014. I was told, don't worry about state income taxes anymore. Obviously you're not going to owe Connecticut. You don't live there anymore, right? And no big deal. Just pay the federal and you're good to go. So I did that from, middle of 2014 until now. And, everything's fine. No problems or nothing. All right. You're not going to believe this. You're seriously not going to believe this. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This whole situation I'm in, yes, it is. I'll tell you right now. My tax attorney is at fault for some of the stuff that happened, but wait till you hear the full story. You're not going to fucking believe it. Are you ready? Get ready. Hold on to your butts. So I noticed about early on this year, probably early to middle 2017, I started to get all these extra mailings in the mail, right? Magazines, ads, trade papers. I'm talking like Construction Magazine, Science, Scientist Doctor Publishing, right? And I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, now I know I didn't subscribe to any of it. And it says on it, on the mailing, addressed to DSP Gaming. Interesting, right? So I start getting all this mail about DSP Gaming. And I'm like, why am I getting all this mail I never signed up for DSP Gaming? And like I said, it's all business-related, trade-related mailings. I'm not exaggerating, folks. I'm not even exaggerating. Right now, every 3 days, my mailbox is full. Because whoever this was that did this signed me up for like every possible free publication that there is regarding like business and trade. And I'm getting every 3 days a stack of mail this high that fills the mailbox. So every 3 days I have to go empty the mailbox because someone did this to me. Okay? So that happened, and I've been putting up with that all year. Nothing I could do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I just got to put up with it and throw it out. That's what I do. I shred it. I shred it all. It goes to the recycling. All of a sudden, oh God, now I can't remember if it was even late August or early September at this point. All right. I get a letter in the mail stating that due to some information that has come across the desk of someone, that they suspect that I, Phil Burnell, own a business called DSP Gaming, and I'm doing business in the state of Washington, but I'm not doing it properly. I never registered the business, which is legally required in the state of Washington, and I'm not paying taxes. Now, to clarify, not personal income tax. There's no state personal income tax in the state of Washington. However, in the state of Washington, they have what's apparently, which I don't know, I'm not a tax attorney, it's called, it's some kind of a business. I don't even know the technical thing, but some kind of a business tax that if you're self-employed in Washington and if you fit certain criteria, like you make a certain amount of money, you get income from certain sources, or you receive certain tax documents from the people who you have contractual agreements with, you're required to register as a business and to pay this business tax in the state of Washington. Okay? So I get this letter, and I'm looking at it like, what the hell is this, man? Are you serious? Like, what could this be? Could this be true? This is bullshit. And I read it. I'm like, well, I don't own my own business. I'm not registered. I don't own my own business. I don't. Legally, there's no business out there that's called DSP Gaming. DSP Gaming is just a YouTube channel, right? There's no business called DSP Gaming. It doesn't exist. So I knew right from the criteria listed in the letter that this wasn't correct, that something was not right here. So I called the guy back and left him a voicemail explaining. I said, listen, you got it wrong. I don't own my own business. I'm not buying or selling. I'm not doing a service. It's internet-based videos that people put ads on. It's way different from what you're describing in your letter. Therefore, I don't think I'm qualified under. You don't have to worry about it or whatever. So he came back to me and he says, well, I got to do my due diligence here. Okay. So at that point, I tried to get my tax attorney from Connecticut involved. All right. I tried to say, what's going on here? You know, this guy is saying that maybe I qualify for having to register as a business and pay business tax and all of this. What's going on? All right. And at the same time, I was still in contact with this guy who apparently was investigating me. So I asked him, I said, you know, I'm just curious. How did this happen? You know, how did you find out about DSP Gaming? Because it's not registered anywhere or anything like that. And he said, well, we got an anonymous tip about a company called DSP Gaming that apparently was operating in Washington State. And the real reason that we got a whiff of you is because you're on a mailing list for small businesses in the state. Like, you're registered on all of them. If you take a look, it's DSP Gaming. It says you're the sole proprietor, and it lists your address, and they signed you up for all of these. I said, well, that makes sense, because that's why I'm getting these contractor magazines. That's why I'm getting all these business-related mailings that I didn't sign up for. That's why I'm getting them all. Someone went out there with my information and registered me as a small business on all these free mailing lists. And then whoever it is that takes care of, you know, the state tax or business tax in Washington got an anonymous tip and went out and looked and said, oh, look at this. If they're registered for these mailings, they must be real. And then they started investigating me. Okay? So, that's what's going on. So that's what happened initially. So, I go to my tax attorney and I say, listen, we got to get you in the loop. You've got to talk to this guy because I don't know anything about this. You told me you were taking care of this when I moved out here. Obviously, it sounds like this guy's mistaken. Let's figure this out together. And as I told him that, I actually had a thing, is like an authorization form that my tax attorney would have to fill out in order to communicate with my personal info. It's like permission for him to give my personal info to this guy who's inquiring about business tax, okay? So, I send him the form and he goes, Phil, I don't know if I'm comfortable filling out this form. I really feel that at this point, since it seems like, you know, this might be something serious, you should get a tax attorney in the state of Washington. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? Keep in mind, this guy, 30 years experience as a tax attorney, taking thousands of dollars for me, all right, to do my taxes over the years. He blatantly, I have it in writing from him in an email that I saved on purpose. In writing, it says, you do not have to get another attorney. I will still be your tax attorney. He's taking on all that responsibility for me moving and doing my taxes properly in the state of Washington. Literally says, well, I think you should just get another tax attorney now in Washington. So I went back to him as politely as I possibly could, because it wasn't very polite. And I told him, absolutely not. You're responsible for this. You were the one. I have it in writing. You can't try to, you know, weasel your way out of it. I have it in writing stating that you were taking on this responsibility. And I think that you need to fill out this form and start talking to this guy right away. Okay? So he did. My tax attorney filled out the form, apparently sent it to the guy and said, I'm willing to talk with you or whatever. So then I went back to the guy who's investigating me for this business tax. And he even said, I recommend at this point since it seems like your attorney from Connecticut is trying to shirk responsibility, you go get an attorney in Washington who's going to be able to analyze the situation, or else, I'm going to end up holding you liable, and maybe you're not, You got to do your due diligence, cover yourself. Okay. So, I did two things. The first thing I did is I did research legally online, and I said, I wonder what the liability is of a tax attorney who blatantly lies in an email and says that they're going to do due diligence and basically negligent, because let's say, for example, the state of Washington finds me guilty of not filing business taxes for 3 years, right? Because now at this point, that was August, September, so it was around 3 years at that point of unfiled business taxes, if that's the case. What's the liability on the tax attorney who screwed up? And I found my answers. The answers are simple. Basically, I'm responsible for the money, the actual tax money. I would be responsible 100% for the tax money that's owed to the state. Okay, no matter what, because I owed it if I owed it. All right. Now, what I could do is I could sue my former tax attorney for fees, damages, and interest. Because basically, when you have unpaid taxes for an extended period of time, you get fees that are associated with that, late fees, as well as interest that's accrued on that makes it even higher. Plus, there may be let's say, for example, I had to get another tax attorney and I had all this cost and everything. I could try to sue my former tax attorney for all of that. Now, that would take forever. It would take years. It would have to go through claims court. It's basically going to be it would be a very time-consuming and an expensive process. And the problem is, my former tax attorney is in Connecticut, so it would be a nightmare for me to do that because I'm not there, right? So basically, I'm shot. I don't know how I could get anything out of my former tax attorney because I don't have, number one, I just told you guys, I'm strapped for cash. I'm literally living paycheck to paycheck. I have just enough money to pay for everything I need to pay for. How am I going to have enough money and time to sue this guy when I have to keep streaming and keep paying the bills and everything? It's not possible. I can't do it, okay? The other thing I did, all right, the other thing I did is I got a new tax attorney, all right? Now, this new tax attorney, no surprise, all right? No surprise. Very expensive, all right? No lie, I'm not going to lie. $800 just to retain the services of this attorney, which I don't have. I had to put it, guess what? On a credit card, which I desperately am running out of credit. I have almost no credit left. I'm to the point where I'm massively overextended. The way it was working was I was paying everything down to the point where every 4 months I could pay my taxes, which would bring all my credit cards and shit back up, and then I would pay it down gradually, and then the taxes would do again. It would go up, So I'm on the ends of my extension here. I'm completely overextended. I have no liquidity. I'm to the point where I can't afford anything, okay? So I have to get a new tax attorney. I had a meeting with this tax attorney. Didn't tell you guys, but this was all happening behind the scenes. That's what I mean. All this shit was happening behind the scenes for months. And basically, the tax attorney told me he thinks I do owe some kind of business tax. He doesn't necessarily know how much because there's some factors involved. What's qualified as a certain kind of income versus another kind of income? What's business taxable and what's not? And in addition to that, the fact that because now I haven't paid business taxes for 3 years since I've lived in Washington, there's not only going to be the taxes that I owe, but there's going to be those fees, interest. And he says, I told him the whole situation. And he basically said, listen, this is extenuating circumstances where you, number one, there's no way legally you could have enough knowledge to know what you owed for taxes here or not. Number two, you have it in writing from a 30-year experienced tax attorney in Connecticut saying that he was doing it right and that he would do it. So basically, you have extenuating circumstances to prove your innocence. So somehow he might be able to get some of what I owe disbanded, okay? But the problem here is that there's still going to be a chunk of money, all right, that apparently I'm going to owe. And the question is, what's the amount going to be? We don't know. It's probably, and he gave me an estimate. He says, just a rough estimate. It's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. It's not going to be $10,000, but it could be thousands of dollars. And the problem is with the interest, fees, all that's going to be associated with not paying this for years, it could end up being way more. It could balloon because of that. All right. So, basically, I'm in a position where I'm screwed. And I said, so what's the next step? What in the holy hell do we do? He said, well, what we need to do is we need to talk with this guy from the business department or whatever, work with him, figure out exactly what he wants us to do, go with his wishes, and basically get you to consider what's called tax compliant status, all right? So basically take care of the back end shit before I worry about the future shit, okay? Now, what he thought is he's saying, since this is a extenuating circumstance, and I told him all about my finances and everything. I was like, listen, sorry, I just don't have the money. Like, if you right now put down a $5,000 to $7,000 tax bill in front of me and said, Phil, you owe this, I have no money to pay it. I don't have enough credit to pay it. Nothing. Couldn't pay it. There's nothing I could do to pay you. It would just go delinquent, And he's like, well, what I think I'm going to try to do, all right, is I'm going to try to get it so that whatever you owe ends up being on a payment plan. And he says, I've seen payment plans that have gone as long as 5 years. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that for you. Maybe I could get you on a 3-year. But what I'm going to try to explain to this guy during this process is there's no way you have the money to just pay him. So if he wants his money, he has to wait. And he's going to have to be working with you because it wasn't your fault. You didn't know you owed this money. If I had known I had owed the money, I would have budgeted. I would have had it and been paying it all along, right? So that's one issue. The other issue, all right, is that now moving forward, I also have to start paying this tax. And I've been told that basically whatever this tax is going to be for the year of 2017, which we have no idea yet, it hasn't been calculated yet, is going to be due on January 31st of 2018. What's it going to be? Could it be $1,000? $3,000? I don't even know what it is. And again, I don't have it. You know what I mean? I just don't have it. Now the good news is this is not absolutely world-ending horrendous yet. All right. The good news is a few things. Number one, and no, by the way, this is not the IRS. People are saying IRS. The IRS is from the federal government. That's not what this is at all. This is completely different. It's state-based. That's why when people are saying, oh, it was the IRS. No, it's not the IRS. The IRS has nothing to do with this. And by the way, thank God, I confirmed with the new tax attorney, my taxes are good in the federal level. Like he says, everything here's right. He's like, this guy did everything perfect at the federal level. It was just he didn't file anything for business taxes when you moved, and that's his fault. Okay? But, federal level, you're good. So, thank God 2 tax attorneys now are telling me that my major taxes were done properly. Fuck, that would have killed me if I thought that was the case. My God, can you imagine that? That would have been tens of thousands of dollars, and that would have been it. That would have been the end for me, completely. So, ladies and gentlemen, the thing I'm nervous about, 2 things, okay? Number one, what's going to happen when they finally determine how much I actually owe for these supposed back taxes, and how am I going to pay it? What's the payment plan going to be? How much a month? Especially now that I'm living month to month as it is with the money that I'm making. And number 2, what's this oncoming looming payment going to be on January 31st that I'm going to owe? Because I don't know yet. I'm supposed to find out probably sometime in December. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is, at least these past couple of months have been good. If you guys haven't noticed, things have been up. I've been telling you guys things have been up. I just did that special promotional event with Twitch a month ago. And, I made some money doing that, additional money that normally would not have been in, something for me. So I made some additional money there. YouTube in the month of October was up. Sadly, now in November, it looks like it's back down. But for the month of October, YouTube was up. And I made some extra money there. And you guys, with your support on streams, have been contributing significantly as well, to the point where it's helping. Okay? It's helping. But I'm being real here with you guys. Like I said, I don't have the full story. I can't give you the full information. I don't know what I owe yet. I don't know when it's going to be due. But it looks to me like if I just keep making what I was making this year, I'm screwed. And literally, I have no way to pay it. So more than likely what would end up happening is I'm going to get hit with a giant bill from whoever this is, business department or whoever they are. Here's your bill. You owe this many thousands of dollars. And I'm going to say, sorry, guys, I don't have it. But what I'm going to have to do is sell my house. That's the only money I have. I have equity in this house. The good news is since I moved here in 2014, the equity in this house has gone up. I don't know exactly how much. I know a few houses in this area have sold for a lot of money, but they weren't necessarily in this complex, so I don't know what my house would sell for. In addition, selling the house is a very time-consuming process. I have to get the house ready to be listed, which is going to take at least a month to start selling shit out of this house, right? I have to sell all the furniture. I have to sell all the shit that's in the house to get it sell. I have to have people come in and start preparing the house, which I don't have money, so I don't know how I'm going to pay people to come in and have the house ready to be sellable. Just the walls of this office has all this soundproofing foam that's stuck to it that's going to destroy the paint. I'm going to have a full paint job redone on the house and everything. I don't have money for it, so how am I going to do that, right? And then I'm going to have to put the house up for sale, right? List it, see what happens. Will it get listed? Will it get purchased? How quickly will it get purchased? How much money will I make on the purchase? How long will it take for me to actually get the money from the sale of the house? Then I got to worry about finding a new place. I got to figure out what I can afford, if I can afford a place out here, a smaller place, or if I'm going to move back to all the way to Connecticut, right? It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up because, again, I told you guys months ago, all right? This has nothing to do with me. I did nothing wrong. I paid a guy with 30 years of experience who assured me he knew what he was doing to do my taxes properly, and he did not do due diligence when I moved across the country to make sure I was doing my business taxes properly. He didn't even do research at all. He basically just said, there's no state income tax, you don't owe it, and he never went the next step. Now, 3.5 years later, he's shirking all responsibility, like he never told me that he could still be my tax attorney, which is insane. It's absolutely insane, okay? So, that's the situation I'm in. I can't sue the guy because I have no money to do it. Any money that I make has to go towards whatever I owe these taxes before I think of anything, right? Before I consider anything. So, that's the position I'm in. And the problem is, it's a short time frame. Like, basically, I'm going to find out by the end of the year what I owe. They're going to expect me to start paying it back in 2018. Plus, I'm going to have this big payment of whatever they think I owe for business taxes for the whole year of 2017 that I'm going to have to pay by the end of January. And then I'm going to have an ongoing payment of whatever this back taxes are every single month. And then, by the way, I still got to pay my federal taxes. Those haven't changed. So I'm still going to have to pay that on top of all of this. So it's ridiculous, man. It really, and just think about this now. Seriously. This is what I'm trying to do. Every day I'm coming to stream. I'm trying to put out entertaining streams for you guys and gals. And I'm trying to act like nothing's wrong. And I'm trying to act like there's no stress. And I am incredibly stressed to the point where, like I said, I can't sleep at night. I'm not feeling good because of this. And I don't know what's going to happen, guys. Because the thing is, there's no easy solution. There's no easy, even if I have to sell the house, I still can't sell the house fast enough to pay the taxes. So there's no way to do it. No matter what, I'm going to get screwed somehow. The question is, what's the degree of screwing I'm going to receive? Okay? Am I going to get a minor screw job where they're very nice and they give me an easy payment plan that's not an exorbitant amount of money every month? They understand the situation, or are they just going to say, fuck you, and just hit me with thousands and thousands of dollars of tax bill and just pay it? And if you don't pay it, fuck you, we'll keep accruing fees on it. You know what I mean? This really sucks. This really fucking sucks. And again, it's not, you did nothing wrong, I did nothing wrong. Out of all the things that you could say, okay, what did I do wrong? At the time when I moved across the country, I overspent. I should not have spent as much as I did on the move as well as furnishing this house. I fully admit that, right? Over the years, I could have done better, more economical choices that I did not make, and that hurt me. When negativity hit me on the internet, with this is how you don't play and shit like that, I reacted badly instead of kind of laughing with it or just ignoring it. And because of that, it exploded badly and it turned out bad. Look at all the negativity and shit for years. It wasn't until recently that finally the biggest group of people who didn't like me, the SOK, finally disbanded. And now I'm finally seeing a little bit of alleviation of everything that's going on. You know what I mean? But this is something that I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. Legally, everything was right, and now I get fucked. On top of all the shit that, just think of this year, YouTube ad revenue plummets. Machinima relationship falls apart. get fooled into trying to join an MCN on YouTube that promises me the world and lies to me, so I have to quit and go back to curse immediately. Breaking up with my girlfriend, fiance. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention false copyright strikes. Remember the false copyright strikes I had in the summer, right? That almost shut down DSP Gaming. Forgot to mention those. Getting signed up for all these business mailings and basically being registered, even though I'm not, as a business in Washington, even though I'm not a business. You know what I mean? Which then tips off, because an anonymous tip, gee, I wonder who that was, who tipped off this business department that supposedly I'm doing business in Washington and not paying taxes. And now, on top of it, and then health too. Like I said, some health stuff's been coming up too. And it's all at once. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the flaming fuck am I supposed to do? You know? What did I ever do? What did I ever do to anyone on this planet that they would literally try to end me? This is what this is. This is because it wouldn't end. Even if I lose the house and I move back to Connecticut, they still will get out. They'll still come for me. They're still gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna end. They're still gonna be coming for me. So that's the situation, everyone. So honestly, first of all, I want to say to everyone, thank you, because this year, the streams have been a relief. Me coming to stream and sharing gameplay with you and having fun with games again has been a fucking huge relief for me from all the shit and stress that's been going on behind the scenes. It's been really hard to keep this story in for 2 months and not tell you guys anything about it. It really has. And by the way, don't plan on me giving you many updates unless I have concrete ones, because, you know, I don't want to just keep dragging this along. I don't want this to be the subject of every stream. I just want to continue like I've been doing and having fun with gameplay or whatever. I don't want it to be every day talking about this shit. All right. And I want to say, I mean, people are being tremendously generous right now. You're seeing people are subbing and tipping, and I appreciate it. I really do. And that adds up and helps immensely. Don't get me wrong. This helps immensely with all this shit going on. The problem being, I know I'm going to owe thousands of dollars, and, you know, if someone just said in the stream chat something, doesn't Phil have one, like, really exorbitantly rich fan who could bail him out? I'm not asking for that. That would be, so, I'm so grateful you guys have saved my fucking ass this year so many times already, and made the streaming so much more fun and just everything, that I would feel fucking bad if I was here asking you for that. That's crazy, all right? All I can ask you to do is to keep doing what you've been doing, and we just got to see what happens, all right? We just got to see what happens. We got to play it by ear and see what happens, and go from there. You know, it's to the point where if this had happened a couple years ago, I would have been fine, because I would have still had credit. I would have had, you know what I mean? I could have just went and taken out a loan. But the problem is, already for years, people have been attacking me for years. You know, false copyright strikes that kicked me out of YouTube's ad search system, and YouTube changing the way that it works so that I'm not in the algorithm anymore to show up in related videos. I've already been on the decline for years. If I was making the same amount of money or had the same credit I had 2-3 years ago, I'd be okay. I'd be easily would be able to take care of this. But I have no liquidity anymore. That's my problem. I have none. Zero liquidity. So I can't afford any of this. And that's what I don't know what to do anymore, man. I don't know. All right. Well, folks, we're going to end the show. I'm going to do some shout outs and then we'll end the show. All right. Because I got to actually start uploading this, start making food, eat. Because I got to come back for a stream tonight to make more money. You know what's going on. All right. Hold on. I got to go all the way down because there's a ridiculous amount of people who contributed. Holy shit. Let's see here. Holy fuck. Let's see here. Wow. I got to go way down. Okay. Alice Telemon did a 200-bit cheer. He says, damn, I remember the reveal and laid off videos when you wore that shirt for the first time. Okay. CL Immins, or Clemens, I guess, subscribed to the channel for the 3rd month in a row and says, much love. I don't want to see you leave. I've been watching you since I'm 14. Now I'm 21. Crazy how time flies. Much love. Shout out to the Adam Lee. Excuse me. Shout out to the Adam Lee, who did a 10-bit cheer. Says, glad you're still here. I'm going to be purchasing some new shirts and a mug for Christmas, and I'll be sharing it on Twitter. Yes, if you guys do get anything from my Teespring shop, send me pictures on Twitter. I will retweet and show everyone that the stuff is great. I mean, you know, like I said, we're actually building a positive community this year for the first time in years. There's positivity around me again. Let's keep it going. Shout out to the Adam Lee, who did another 10-bit cheer. He says, I still got hope for you despite your being on the edge. Keep up everything you do. Kitty Sprank did a 50-bit cheers. She said, downsize, save, and invest. All of your mothers tipped me $2. Thank you for that. Alice Telemon did a 50-bit cheers. Said, just when you think you've seen everything, right? Just when you think you've seen it. Like, they haven't fucked with me enough. They had to do this. Tyler JKU did subscribe to the channel for the second month in a row. And he said, here's some cash money. Thank you, Tyler. Darth Vader Van Viking did a 103-bit cheer. He says, if you have business tax, don't you have a lot of deductibles? Yeah, the deductibles are gone, dude. That's what I mean. Like, they're already written off my federal taxes. I'm sure to some extent, like I said, I don't know the final total, but what I'm being told is that despite anything that's going to be written off, I'm still going to owe a lot of money. Shout out to Floyd Sucks, who tipped me $2. Shout out to Mujtaba, who did a 10-bit cheer. And says, kid, you prove it's not a business and not have to pay the 3 years of unpaid business tax. No, the point I'm making is, if my tax attorney from Connecticut did due diligence and did research, he would have found out that people who make certain kinds of money have to be registered as a business, and I probably was supposed to and didn't, and that's why I'm now responsible for this tax, and it's his fault, because if he had done that research up front, the day I moved here, I would have registered as a business and started paying the tax, and I didn't, and it's his fault. Thank you, Golden Colts, for a 200-bit cheer. I appreciate that. Phil is my daddy did a 10-bit cheer and says, Phil is the most realist motherfucker. Thank you, Phil is my daddy. The country of Afghanistan tipped me $50. Thank you, country of Afghanistan. Alice Telemon did a 50-bit cheer. Says, you'll overcome this. It's good that this surface now instead of a few years later. I mean, yeah, that's true. It's good at surface now, only a couple years or 3 years into it. Imagine if this was 10 years and now I get hit with a $40,000 tax bill or some shit, you know, some insane amount. That would have been world ending because I probably never would have paid it off ever in my life. At least now, because it happened now, there's at least, if I could raise enough money to pay it, or if I have to sell my house to pay it, at least I can pay it in some fucking way. If it was that much money, there's no way I would have ever paid it off. Okay, Astro Jet Boy did a 20-bit cheer and said, wow, what a story. It makes sense now. Sorry, dude, but it was worth the wait. Maybe it's time to start a new Patreon goal. New Patreon goal. $10,000. Pay off the back taxes I got fucked on because my tax attorney's a fucking asshole. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to hit that one. Sensational Media just tipped me $2 and says, meanwhile, at Sheckelstein's office, and he put up a picture or something. I'm not going to click that. Young Guap Fresh did a 100-bit cheer. He says, this sucks. What the hell? Yeah, I agree. Persona 3 Master subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Persona 3 Master. That Anana Bear did a 10-bit cheer and said, health stuff, that's awful. Which body part? I told you. I'm not going to get into it. If and when I need to, I'll let you guys know. Pissing Demon subscribed to the channel for the second month in a row. Thank you, Pissing Demon. He says, this sucks, Phil. I hope your old I'm not going to say that. That's messed up. Alice Telemon did a 50-bit cheer. He said, TS Positivity. Golden Colts did a 400-bit cheer. Thank you, Golden Colts. A pimp ass bitch tipped me $100. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Why? Oh, a troll. Troll tip of $2, so I ignore you. Astro Jet Boy did a 10-bit cheer. He says, does it feel a little better getting it off your chest? It does. You know it does. Even though I know saying this and getting this off my chest isn't going to help anything. Now it's hot in here, by the way. That's why I'm opening the door again. Even though I know it's not going to, it might not make anything better. It's better at least get it off. Now you guys know what I'm going through. You guys understand what's happening, you know. You understand why some nights I can't fucking sleep. I'm like, am I close to the last night in my house? This is bullshit, you know. But it does feel a little better to finally get it off my chest now that you guys know what's going on. Although I couldn't, again, the health thing, I can't reveal everything. At least now you know partially what's going on. Persona 3 Master did a 100-bit cheer. He says, mistakes were made from you and those around you, but stay strong. Things can get better after this hurdle. I hope so, man, because I'll be honest, this is the biggest one so far. And I've been through every fucking hurdle. I hope I can get through this one. I really do, you know. I'm going to need your guys' help. I really am. I'm going to need your support morally, everything. I need it. Just, you know, like I said, if we can build a positive community again, how it used to be, I can get through this. But I have to get through this. Okay, I have to. There's people who depend on me. There's people who, they find me, I mean, I believe, as an inspiration. I've been doing this for 10 years, and every possible fucking thing that's been thrown at me, I've found a way to get through. I've got to find a fucking way to get through this. I have to. Okay? Alice Telemon did another 70-bit cheer. He says, the 10-year anniversary hype, 2018 will be your year. I hope so. I hope that it starts off better than this fucking year did, man. Phil's my daddy did a 10-bit cheer. He said, let's buy a lottery ticket this week. I buy a lottery ticket every week. Once a week, I buy a lottery ticket just in case. Because, hey, that $1 or $2 a week, maybe one day, right? Fuck, man. And honestly, and I'll be real with everyone. If I ever hit the lotto, you know, first thing I would do, turn off Patreon, turn off cheering, tipping. I don't need your money. I'm here to have fun. And I would not stop making streams. I would still be here. I would still be here because I love it. I love doing this. I love doing this. I love streaming. I love talking to you guys. I love gaming. I did it as a hobby before I did it as a job. I'm here because I love what I fucking do. Not this. And that's why all this is so bad. Shout out to Marco563 who subscribed to the channel. Coverus just did a 20-bit cheer. He says, Scuba Dealer says I sexually harassed him in the stream. Good for him. High-tech specs, excuse me. Did a 200-bit cheer. He said, hope everything works out. I went through something similar because of a family member not paying rent, unbeknownst to me, and I had to move. Best of luck. That's terrible. Especially if it's a family member. Shout out to King Gokin, who just subscribed to the channel for the 11th month in a row. He says, I hope everything works out for you in the end. IRS came for DSP, did a 16-bit cheer, said, it's okay, Phil, we love you. Zach tipped me $2, said, bring back Cooking with the King. Oh, please. The Cooking with the King harassment continues. YOLO Dauber did a 10-bit cheer. He said, didn't you research what that Washington takes business tax? That's pretty much like your state tax in Connecticut. Dude, I am not a tax attorney. I had a tax attorney who I paid to do that for me to make sure I'm doing it right. Why would I then go and research it myself too? That's the point. That's why you pay someone like that lots of money to do the right thing. Orange Juice did a 20-bit cheers. Let's hope all goes well. Woobeg just did a 50-bit cheers. He says, this is why I have trust issues. I know. How the fuck do I trust anyone ever again? Even the people I'm paying to do the right thing don't do the right thing. I got another 20-bit cheer for the IRS came for DSP. I got another 18-bit cheer. He says, I am the IRS. I will forgive your taxes. The IRS doesn't, I don't owe the IRS any money. That's not the IRS. Your bully, your what? Your bull Tyrone did a 30-bit cheer and said, Fappy Wanks Giving. Oh my God. Scoopula just did a 10-bit cheer. It says, try to stay positive. Some of us have been in similar situations and we understand. Thank you for that. Warren X6 just did a 50-bit cheer. Said, DSP, you should call your local state government. And, oh, it was a troll and I didn't read it. So there you go. Thanks for the troll cheer. Golden Colts just did a 845-bit cheer. Thank you, Golden Colts. All of your mothers just tipped me $100. Thank you, guys. Fuck. Thank you. Wow. It's still going. I can't stop. You guys keep going. This is amazing. Warnights just did a 10-bit cheer. He says, have a turkeyless day. Are you cooking bird? I'm going to show you what I'm eating soon. Astro Jetboy did a 10-bit cheer. And what did he say? Really, you, me? He says, maybe you're the modern job. And in the end, you're doing a boss in the end. I'm confused. Callow Nord did a 50-bit cheer. He says, good luck. I've been watching since 2009. It would suck to see you have to stop. Ben Boxer did a 50-bit cheer and says, solution. I'm not reading this. That's not funny. How dare you? I got another 26-bit cheer from IRS came for DSP. Babyman Gaming did a 50-bit cheer. Varammer did a 10-bit cheer. Phil is my daddy did another 10-bit cheer and asked if I would move to Vancouver. Dude, I can't afford to move anywhere. That's my problem. Even if I sold the house, I don't know how I'm going to afford it. Babyman Gaming did a 50-bit cheer. Tynel did a 15-bit cheer. And he says, just got into the stream after spending time with family. Happy Thanksgiving, Phil. Thank you, Tynel. And Pimp Kings just did a 240-bit cheer. It says, watching since 2008. Good luck, man. And that Anonymous just did a 10-bit cheer. Folks, my voice is shot. Thank you for all your contributions. Orange Juice did another 10-bit cheer. I got to stop because my voice is shot. I got to take a break. I got 2 hours to upload these videos. And then, oh my God, I just got another $100 tip from the King. He says, stay strong. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Fuck. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so tired, but I'm happy that I got off my chest and you guys are being supportive. And, you know, thank you, guys. Wow. Thank you. 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 If I could get down on my hands and knees and say thank you and still be on camera, I would do it. Okay? I seriously would do it. Thank you to Haseo for a 10-bit cheer. Thank you to Game Master for a 25-bit cheer. Thank you to Darude Boy for a 199-bit cheer. Thank you to El Pelacuous for a 100-bit cheer. Thank you, everybody. The Rude Boy is asking if he should play Tekken 7, Nier Automata, or Injustice 2 first. I would say Tekken 7. And then maybe Nier Automata and Injustice last. I don't know. Thank you to Persona 3 Master who did a 100-bit cheer. Oh, man. He says, Black Friday is almost here. Sell some of your old signed games. I'm not even going to get into that because there's too many troll people when I was trying to sell stuff. Thank you to Smart Weirdo for a 2,500-bit cheer. He says, bro, you should have become a stripper. They make $500 a day. Yeah, I know. Thank you to Lulz2 Pro who did a 35-bit cheer. Thank you to Ratchafan who did a $3 tip. Thank you to Stunted who just did a 2,500-bit cheer. Holy crap. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome, but I seriously need to take the stream down so I can get my voice up to snuff, upload these videos, and then, you know, and then get to, I gotta make dinner too. Thank you everyone for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I gotta get out of here, but I'll be back tonight. I'll be back between 7:30 and 8 p.m. with a stream of Need for Speed Payback. So come on back and have some fun with me gaming tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow's Black Friday. I'll be gaming all day. All right, everyone? Thank you very much. Oh my God. Fluffy Shits just tipped me $100. Thank you, everyone. I seriously got to get going. Who? Negate just tipped me $10. Says Happy Thanksgiving, Phil. Thank you, everyone. I'm turning the stream off now. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight for Need for Speed. Peace out, everyone. And thank you, Ornites, for a final 20-bit cheer. And thank you, Astro Jet Boy, for a final 10-bit cheer. Thanks. God damn, I hope I can get through this. Thank you, everybody.